Now, I wanted to tell you this. I do all right with The Last Symptom as far as followers go. I mean, I'm not pulling in Michael Jackson numbers or anything like that, but I do all right. For me, it's quality over quantity. But if I wanted to, now this is true, I'm just going to be honest with you here. If I wanted to, I could have so many followers that I would just be rolling in content, likes and hits and views and that sort of thing. Why do I say that I could have so many? I'm talking thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of followers. How do I know that I could have millions of followers? It's because I know the formula. Would you like to know what the formula is? The formula is that you merely say what people want to hear and like to hear. That's the formula. And if you want to get involved on a political side of an argument, again, I'm not offering you my leanings or anything like that, and it's not even relevant. The relevant thing is that right now, because passions are so stirred on both sides, if you wanted to just pick a side and then invest completely into it, you could have 1 million followers if you wanted to wade into that. But now here's what's going to happen, is it's going to ruin any legitimacy that you might want to have with anybody who does not share that political ideology. So whichever side of it you're on, if you sell into it 100%, let's say sell out 100%, so that you can just get those numbers and you can have that sort of audience, then you can have it, but it's going to be meaningless. It'll be a meaningless achievement, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes I look at the audience numbers for some of these personalities, online personalities and also television personalities, who appeal to one of the two political ideological groups of people, and I check to see what it is they're saying, and I check the numbers of followers that they have. When I see what they're saying, the whole point of their show or whatever is, and then I see the great numbers of people who are following them, it makes perfect sense. Because, why? Because they're following the formula. They know the formula. What is the formula? You say what people want to hear and like to hear. You see, so when you sell out 100% to gain either let's not beat around the bush here, an audience that appeals the right side of the political spectrum or the left side of the political spectrum, whichever one you decide that you're going to sell out to 100%, and you start producing content for them and speaking to them, what's the formula? You're saying what they want to hear and like to hear. So they already think those things. You're not teaching them anything. You're just telling them what they want to hear. But in reality, what is the value of this work? Let's say that you were to manage to get 1 million followers. What is the value of the work? If I'm simply sitting here echoing back to you the things you already think and believe and feel, does my work have value or purpose? It really doesn't, does it? Beyond me taking advantage of human psychology to exploit and manipulate you for my own benefit. So I see, wow, 1 million followers, I could get them easy if I just sell out to that. If I do that, I'm simply stating what I know you already believe. So I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm not trying to share anything to broaden your perspectives or anything like that, or enrich your life. I'm simply exploiting your human tendency to love hearing what you already think. They are simply making a living off exploitation. So it doesn't matter which political ideology they belong to. These talking heads on both sides of that, on both teams, let's say, are exploiting people in the same way. They aren't in the business of persuading anybody of anything. They're in the business of telling people who are already fiercely emotionally enslaved to their feelings what they already think and like to hear. They're just an echo. Just an echo. So if I'm simply putting words to what a million of yous already feel, what value does that work have? What value would it have for me to sit here, for example, all the time and just have a conversation with myself? Brian, I got to tell you this. Summer humidity is terrible. I'm telling you, it's terrible. We have an expression. It's called you're preaching to the choir, right? What sense does it make for me to sit here and just preach to myself about something I already believe? What value does that have? Doesn't have any value. It's completely pointless. The popularity of it is completely meaningless except to benefit the host who is exploiting people's feelings. Here's an excerpt from the book You Are Not So Smart by David McRaney, and he's quoting actually Terry Pratchett from his The Truth, a novel of Discworld book. It goes like this: be careful. People like to be told what they already know. Remember that. They get uncomfortable when you tell them new things. New things, you see, aren't what they expect. In short, what people think they want is news, but what they really crave is olds. Not news, but olds. Telling people what they think they already know is true. So, some good things to think about there if you were one of the folks who pressed like on that episode and then later took your like back. It wasn't because I said anything inaccurate. It wasn't an intellectual decision. It was an emotional decision. And if you are that weak under the power of your own feelings, you know, that is the crux of what emotional unhealth is rooted in. So something really for you to think about if you can stir yourself to think about that.